Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be an April bonus reading, and we're just going to jump right in here, Pisces, and see what is going on for you at this time. You have this luck card. It says anything you do now will be very prosperous for you. There you go. If you believe that you're lucky, you'll create an abundance mindset. You also have this beauty card. It says somehow your looks will boost your earning power. It also says your inner world must match your outer world for things to change, which, yes, both of these cards are kind of like speaking to, like very simple law of attraction principles, right? And kind of like matching the energy of what you desire, which I do believe we are in a time of like heightened manifestation. So, I would definitely keep your vibe clean and, stay focused on the good stuff and all that other stuff. But anything you do now will be prosperous, whether it's a retrograde or not, doesn't matter. Retrogrades don't stop us from making money, right? So, I feel that for a lot of you, you could be improving your finances. I mean, I do think it's time for Pisces to, get out of any negative debt cycles that they've been in for a very long period of time. This could be literally a debt cycle, but it could also be more, kind of like figurative as well. This could be maybe maybe you think that you don't deserve a certain amount of money, or maybe you think that you're not worthy, or maybe there are certain habits you have that are kind of a result of believing those things deep down inside. And you have this Page of Wands, which really tells me you're going on a new adventure to, create new abundance. And I think that's what this reading is talking about. I mean, you end with this Awakening Genius card, which I love. Kind of says that you have good ideas, which you're a Pisces, you do. So, and again, I personally, I believe that Pisces are the true innovators. I mean, if you look at any of the true innovators throughout history, Steve Jobs, the guy who started Nike, I mean, the list goes on and on. They're all Pisces. So, again, I think that, everybody says Aquarius is the innovator, which might be true. There are a lot of Aquarius innovators, but there's like more Pisces innovators. So I think, and that's because you speak to the universe, Pisces, because you speak the language of the universe as well. And I think that it's time for you to go on some sort of adventure to bring something down to earth, as I always say to you. You even have the star, and the star is your crossing energy, and your crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you. I kind of feel both here. Number one, I feel that it would be a great time for you to rest, relax, recover. Obviously, this month we have a Mercury retrograde, so anything you can do to heal yourself, to stay healthy, all that other good stuff would be a good idea. I also feel that the star is like needing to believe that you are capable of doing something. The star has this bird right here, and that bird literally represents getting the big picture, kind of seeing things from a bird's eye view. And it's funny because you end with this higher view card, but she is also pouring water onto the land right here, and that water is from the pool of universal consciousness, and the water basically says what's possible for one person is possible for everyone. So if there's things that you want to do in your life, if someone has done them, then you could do them, and even if not, because you're a Pisces, right? And you have this card that says anything you do will be very prosperous now. So it's like kind of like time for you to work on a dream, something that you think is impossible. I say this to you every reading. Next, in the area of your thoughts, you have the Five of Swords. I think your thoughts, I think this is very Piscean. Right here is like thinking the worst when actually things are actually kind of going in a better direction, even if they're not, even if you think they're not, but they are. I kind of get that feeling here. I kind of get this feeling of conflicted thoughts as well. I would also say that the Five of Swords can represent like winning at all cost, and I would be careful of being in situations where you are trying to win at all cost, or where you're like if you're trying to come out on top or something like that. I don't know. I have like a weird thing. Like if you have dealt with conflict in love, for example, it's like maybe you want that person to get karma or whatever. It's like we're all human. It's nobody's freaking perfect. It's crazy to me when people like act like, oh, they've never had a thought of revenge before or something like that, right? And it's like I'm not saying you want revenge on a person, but maybe you're like, what, if this person fell and knocked out a tooth, it would totally be on them. It would totally be because they earned it, right? So I kind of feel like there's something going on there, like especially if you've dealt with a person who did you dirty or something like that. I would be careful of those thoughts, correct those thoughts, and just realize that you're human. We've all been there, right? And maybe the person does deserve it, but I also kind of get this feeling of something distracting you from obviously like good things coming in for you. So I'd be careful of that. You have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is carrying a heavy burden. This is coming up in the area of your foundation, but I actually feel pretty good about this. I like the Ten of Wands anyway, just no matter what. He is burdened, yes, but he is carrying his harvest. The story of the card is that he's about to reach his home, but he planted those 10 wands. So he's about to have a harvest, but The reason I kind of feel good about this in your reading showing up in the foundation is I feel like it's saying you've already done the hard work or you have done all the hard work. Now it's time for you to receive your rewards. And I kind of feel that's where this reading is going before we even clarify. You have the Five of Cups in the past. Five of Cups can be sadness, regrets, loss. He's crying over spilt wine here. He thinks that, the story of the Five of Cups is that he has lost his taste for wine, so he kind of doesn't enjoy wine any longer. And, now he's crying because he used to enjoy wine, but he can't enjoy it any longer. And so now he needs to turn around and see these two cups, because then he gets this bridge and this castle, as I always say. So really, this is a card of needing to be grateful for what you do have. And it also says you might think that you lost something that you'll never be able to replace, but there is something so much better coming in for you. So I would let go of those fears. You have this chaos and conflict card and this a change in the wind card. So clearly there are changes coming in for you. I do feel that you've been in a time of chaos and probably having to do with your boundaries as well. And that's like the word that's popping into my head on that card. So I feel for some of you, this could say that, that there are kind of like ideas that are, you've experienced conflict in the past and maybe in your mind as well. I feel there's something about being conflicted as well in your mind. And I feel like that's what's changing is you're moving away from being conflicted. It's almost like, you're seeing things clearly. The reason I say this is because you also have this higher view card. You have the star with the bird on it. It's almost as if you haven't been able to see the big picture. And now you are. I kind of feel it's just that simple. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have the Ten of Cups. So amazing. If you want love, there definitely could be a solid, happy connection coming in for you. The Ten of Cups is happy home, happy family. It doesn't mean you're going to marry this person today, but definitely could be a solid connection coming in for you. Ten of Cups is also amazing for community, and I've been saying it to you before. I've said it to you before, Pisces, that it's an amazing time for Pisces and community and getting together with people. You could be finding new groups of people that you really resonate with, or just groups of people that really lift you up, and that's what I feel here with the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups also represents fortune after difficulty. I think that this is something the universe wants to give you, like fortune after difficulty or good things after a difficult period of time. But I think that also it's time to kind of like demand it. I do think you need to demand it. I think you need to tell the universe, like, okay, I'm no longer accepting, X, Y, Z. And how do you do that? You change your habits, as I've said. It's like if you say, I'm no longer going to accept $10 an hour, but you're still working at the same job and not going and getting another one. Again, not a judgment. Someone always comes at me like, how dare you say someone has to make $10 an hour? I'm like, okay, get over yourself, number one. I'm just making a point. Get over it. Number one. Number two, it's like, yes, sometimes you have to prove to the universe that you actually want something better, and you have to go do something better. So again, I kind of feel that with the Ten of Cups. You have this Wasp card that says, sometimes life stings. You have this Rhino Spirit says, overcome any obstacle. I really do feel that you have overcome a lot of obstacles and you have moved through a lot. I feel like you have experienced a lot of stings as well. This could be people or situations in your life, and now you're moving past those things. And I think you're getting these stings that you have experienced have actually led you to something much sweeter. I think that these stings that you've experienced have kind of made you stronger as a person, and that's what you're starting to show the world. Next, over the next few months, you have the Six of Pentacles. Really weird message. I'm getting that you don't hold back is really the message I'm getting here. I think that you need to be more bold and assertive. Again, there's something about boundaries here. You have none of the cards of boundaries, but it's popping into my head that there's something about you needing to, like not hold back. I think that, in work, in business, if you want to speak up, I think you need to speak up. If you're working on a project and you want to get paid a bunch more money, like I think you need to say that, or, literally you could just say it out loud right now, right? Or you could kind of change your habits, like I said, or, develop new habits or learn something new about whatever it is you're trying to do. For whatever reason, I feel like this is kind of talking about the beast that you feed, like which side of yourself are you feeding? I'm sure you've all heard the story of the which wolf do you feed? The one that's full of fear and anger, or the other one that's full of like passion and, love and good energy. And I kind of am getting that energy on this card. Normally I wouldn't say that, but That's what, for whatever reason, that's what's popping into my head. I kind of feel it's important that you look at what you are feeding in your life energetically, and you kind of go more that direction of being more bold, brash, assertive, and also demanding your worth as well. And that's kind of what I get here. You have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is something new. I do feel like there could be a new person coming in for you, for those of you that are looking for love. I think your April reading in general, like all of them, all the April readings I've done so far have been really good for love. So definitely could be communicating with a new person here. Page of Pentacles is just communication. This could also just be, again, new people in general, and because it's coming up in the area of your closest relationships, which is all relationships. And I do see you really kind of developing new relationships over the next few years. And, I think it just fits in well with the astrology and what's going on in your life just in general. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Two of Pentacles, busy. I definitely see you being very busy. I think that you should be making sure that you're thinking smarter, not harder. If you are getting overwhelmed by the things that you are thinking about, then you are overcomplicating things. I think that should be the rule for Pisces. It's like if you're thinking about something and you're like adding all these things to it, like a project, for example, and if you're adding extra steps and then you're getting overwhelmed, I think the universe is saying like, no, things are meant to, I don't want to say things are meant to be easy for you right now, Pisces, but I think things are meant to be smoother, And so again, if you're getting overwhelmed, if you're like starting a business or, starting a project or getting into a relationship and you're starting to get overwhelmed, then I think that the Two of Pentacles is saying, go the other direction, simplify things, don't overcomplicate things. I think that this overwhelm, as well as you undervaluing yourself. Sometimes I think when we start a project or we start a relationship and we start getting overwhelmed by the things that we think we have to do in the relationship, what we're doing is we're overcompensating. And, I feel like the Two of Pentacles is saying like, don't overcompensate in this situation by like trying to over deliver in everything that you do. There's nothing wrong with over delivering. There's nothing wrong with kind of like delivering extra value in anything you do, right? But it's like when we take it to the 10th degree that it becomes a problem. And I feel that's what this is saying. And I feel there's a very easy solution to that. Like I said, I think that you need to simplify things if you're getting overwhelmed and just do less, right? You have the Five Wands. The Five Wands, this is your outcome. It is conflict and competition. I'm not so sure how I feel about this. Again, personally, I like the Five Wands because it is a card of learning and educating yourself. Again, these people, they're using wands. They're not using swords to fight. So for a lot of you, I feel like you have learned a lot from conflict or from competition, and you're kind of just moving away from it. You also have this Awakening Genius card and this Higher View card. So these are both very good cards. You are, I think you are waking up to the genius that is Pisces, the speaking to the universe that is Pisces, and the Higher View card, I feel is saying that you are gaining new perspectives. Again, you are the Hangman in the tarot. Like, you have the ability to see things from different points of view and from different angles, and that's what makes Pisces successful, is you are the two fish. It's like you can work on something from two sides. You can work on something from two different perspectives, or probably more. And I kind of feel like this is saying, like, open up to that energy, the fact that you can do things from from two different sides or from two different angles. And that's what I feel like you need to focus on here with that energy. But pretty interesting. Well, let's clarify through and let's see what's going on here. With the Page of Wands and the Star, you have the Page of Pentacles. Could be could be a fire sign, earth sign, or an Aquarius that's coming in for you if you are looking for love. I definitely feel there is going to be communication. I also feel that it's time for you to do something that, like I said, gets you out of your debt cycles. Anything, and this does not have to be financial debt either. It's like if there are things that you do that make you feel like you have less after, doesn't have to be money, it could be your energy or whatever. I feel like this is saying it's time to start new cycles of abundance, new cycles of you kind of like getting what you're worth and all that other stuff. So that's what I would focus on there. With the Five of Swords showing up in the area of your thoughts, you have the Justice card. Exactly what I said. I think the second you let go of whatever this conflict was, is the second you're going to get karma. It's like, remember what I said about seeing someone fall and they break a tooth or something like that? It's like, I'm not saying that's what you're going to get. I don't think, like, number one, I don't think we should wish karma on people because then they're never going to get it in the first place. But number two, it's like, who cares? Just move on, right? It's like, when you wish karma on someone or hope to see karma or hope to get something from them, it's like, then you're not moving forward. You're not releasing the energy. You're holding on to something. And that is never good. That never leads leads to anything. You're not making space for something new. So I feel like the Five of Swords justice is saying you are getting justice, but it might be coming in the form of like a new person, a new situation, or something like that. It might not exactly be karma from that person and, all that other stuff. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Four of Wands, marriage. Again, I feel like a lot of you have kind of like done a lot of work on yourself, and this could be attracting a person to you who's done just as much work on themselves. And I feel like you're getting to that point where it's like you no longer, it's like, I don't know how to say this, Pisces, what I really want to say here. It's almost like sometimes I think people, let me put it this way, right? It's like I see all these people, like I get recommended all these things because of all of you lovely people, right? I get recommended all these quote unquote love experts, right? And what's interesting to me is like none of them really focus on like self-love, number one. Number two, they all kind of like focus on like things that you have to do to attract a person. It just like struck me the other day. I was in the shower, I was thinking about this, right? I saw that Matthew Hussey guy, right? Which, I think, whatever. I was thinking about something about him. I was like, a lot of his advice is like, it's like you have to do something to attract someone. It's like, but then you're not coming from an authentic place. It's like if you're doing something to attract someone, right? This feels, and bear with me here, I'm trying to explain this, right? This feels more like you just are something. And maybe you have learned to highlight your best traits by, doubling down on the good stuff, which is a rule of mine, right? I'm better than Matthew Hussey, right? I know the real tricks here. What I would say is that if you double down on the positive traits of yourself, the things that make you special, and you learn self-love as well, then you will attract love in a person who's also not, maybe doing the same thing. It's like, I the way I see this is if there's two, if you are doing things only to attract love, right, then you're going to also attract a person who is also doing the same thing. It's like this weird energy is how I see it in head. Still doesn't make sense to me. I'm hoping to clarify it in my head at some point, right? my ideas about this, but again, it doesn't even matter because I think the good thing in this reading is that it's almost like you're not doing anything in a good way. Like, I mean this in the best way possible. It's almost like you are just existing, and maybe you're kind of like doubling down on the good stuff, and because of that, it's like you're attracting another person who is doing exactly the same thing. It's like you're not attracting a person who is trying to do things to attract love. Does that make sense? Probably not, but there you go. With the Five of Cups, you have the Knight of Swords. Again, I think that maybe some of you tried to rush something in the past, or you tried to rush into something and it didn't work out, and now you're moving away from it. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Five of Wands. I'm wondering if you could be attracting a person that people are jealous of. Again, you have the Five of Wands here, or you are that person, is what I'm trying to spit out here. Because, again, you could be attracting someone, or you are the person where there is a lot of competition for you. So, again, I kind of see that here with the Five of Wands. I don't necessarily feel the Five of Wands is a bad thing. So, that looks good. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the King of Wands. Yeah, you've been getting a fire sign. Definitely could be a fire sign. Could be any sign. Could just be a person that you have a lot of desire for. Could be a very bold, assertive person as well with the King of Wands. Take it how it resonates. I also feel this is you, though. I feel like you are the visionary. Like I said at the beginning of the reading, he is the visionary, the entrepreneur. That doesn't mean you have to have a business, as I always say. We can kind of nurture, really I think that the better word to use right now is that we could be, now is a time where we should really be nurturing things into existence. If there's something we want, we have to treat it like a garden. Taurus energy. We have Uranus and Jupiter and Taurus. We're going to have this Uranus-Jupiter conjunction coming up. It literally says, treat something like a garden. Water it, fertilize it, feed it, give it sunlight. Six of Pentacles is planting seeds. So, anything you care about, anything you want to create, do those things. With the Page of Pentacles, told you have the Two of Cups, perfect match. I think this person is very different than your usual type as well. Again, I think there's something here about you noticing the difference of like trying to get love but not then being love. It's like the type of person that you're attracting here is different. I don't know how to express it. Like, I just tried. I don't want to waste more of your time, but talking about Matthew Hussey. But what I would say here is, there's something here. There's something different. Things have changed for you in love, and I feel that it is definitely a good thing. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Swords. Do not create a nightmare. Again, I think that you need to end the idea that you have to do extra or more or go overboard or anything like that. Again, there's a difference between over-delivering. Over-delivering is great, but and I think the solution here is very simple. You know, it popped into my head that if you're feeling overwhelmed, back it down a little bit until you don't feel overwhelmed. And this goes for everything that you're doing. Love, money, spirituality, health, whatever. It's like back it down until you don't feel overwhelmed and then just sit at that level for a little while and see what the results are that you get. I think that you will be surprised. I think what you'll be surprised with is like the less hard that you work, the less you try to force things to happen, the more they work. And that's kind of the message I'm getting there. With the Five of Wands, you have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, passionate new beginning. Ace of Wands out with the old, in with the new. Again, you could be, I do see Pisces creating conflict moving forward, but not like in a bad way. Just, you know, people have certain expectations of Pisces. You know, this is like the curse of being a Pisces, right? And, you know, if you don't fit into that story, it makes people uncomfortable. And this is true. This is always true for human nature. It's like people see us as one way. So when we change, people are uncomfortable with change. They don't want us to change. And so they get upset if we make a change. And, you know, I kind of feel that you could be having new beginnings, starting new things, working on new projects. Again, no one can see a Pisces vision in the first place. So it's like, number one, protect your ideas. Don't tell people until things are like ready to get going, right? I've basically told no one. Like I just launched my startup, Debt Makers. I've told like no one for 2 years. There are like 2 people in my life that know about it. My parents don't even know that I've been working on this, right? So it's like I would protect your ideas as much as possible, just because you don't want someone to say something. It's like once it's done, then absolutely, because it's done. And there you go. And so I would protect your ideas. This is a crazy reading, Pisces. You have this authority card. I think you are becoming an authority. I think you are becoming someone who's going to be standing out in the world. You have this idealism card. You know, this is a card of, this is Aquarius, by the way, Sun in Aquarius. And, I feel like it basically says there are no perfect situations in life, that nothing is perfect. And that's okay. That's kind of what I'm getting here. It's like nothing will ever be ideal, and you just have to work with the energy. You have this resourcefulness card. I would be thinking more resourcefulness, not so much, again, hard work or extra work or anything like that. So great time to be resourceful. Next, you have this decision card. I feel like that you have a hard decision to make, maybe coming up. It might not be this month is what I'm getting as well. Like some of you might be leaving something behind, but it's like, again, I think one thing is the best way I could describe this, and I don't think you're going to have to use your imagination here. I think one thing is like debt, and I think the other thing that you're thinking about is abundance. It's so, again, I think you're getting away from this like debt mindset thing, and it might not be debt as in money. This, like I said, this could be energy or feeling like you owe people something or something like that. And it's almost like the Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. So it's like you're making a sacrifice to have something better. You have this submission card. I feel like you're going to realize how free you are. This card is Venus and Pisces, by the way. And this right here, there's like this cage, this bird in this cage, but the cage door is open. And I feel like you have to set yourself free from something to get the higher view. You have the bird on the higher view card. So it's like, I think there's a lot of opportunity for you to set yourself free. But damn, Pisces, this is one heck of a reading. I like it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.